As the life continues and we live on, it feels like Disventure Camp gets more and more talked about all over the internet. However, we shall not forget about that one specific TV series which was released few years ago and shocked the entire America. That's right, I am talking about the Squid Game. Now, yes, this venture camp is not nearly as dangerous as the Squid Game is. However, we shall not forget that yes, some of the situations in this venture camp became out of hand and nearly deadly pretty quickly. So, because of that, I was wondering recently what would happen if this venture camp characters participated in Squid Game. To make this competition funnier, I decided to not just go with the cast of this Venture Camp All-Stars, but I also decided to add other 10 contestants from the previous seasons who didn't make it to the All-Stars as contestants. And I bet that now each one of you has this question: who is going to be the greatest of them all, and who is going to be the first boot? Stay tuned to find out in this Venture Camp Squid Game. Our first game is going to be the red light, green light game. This game requires a lot of focus, careful listening, and speed. Tom got all of those three qualities, so I don't see him having any problems completing this challenge. And this one shall really not be a surprise, but I feel like Tess also got this one because as a listener, she's pretty decent. And Gabby also got this challenge because although her way of thinking is questionable and she may not have the coldest mind, however, she got a really great speed and that can allow her to win this game. In a way similar to Tom, I feel like Hunter and James will also do really well in this challenge. However, now it's time to talk about the contestants who unfortunately will not do too well. One of them is Nick. He's slow, he's a bad listener, he's unreliable, and I feel like with that it is enough said about our first boot. And the second boot is going to be Guy. Now yes, the guy is a decent listener, he's really patient and focused. However, as a character, he always seemed to be pretty slow for me. So I feel like he will fail his challenge because of how lazy and slow he is. I feel like the other contestants will not have a lot of trouble with this challenge, so I feel like for the victims of this challenge, this is going to be pretty much it. And now it's time for our second game, Honeycomb. This game requires a lot of patience, focus, and steady hands. Now right off the bat, once again, I feel like Tom will not have any problems completing this challenge. Because during the season 1, it was proved that the amount of patience that the Tom has is pretty decent. During the All-Stars, it was also proved that Tess also has a decent amount of patience, so I bet she will also carry this challenge with ease. Smart campers like Alec and Garrett are also going to do really well in this challenge, and this one shall not be a surprise, but another camper that is going to do really well in this challenge is Miriam. I mean, come on now, this granny is a baker, so she's going to be especially skilled in this challenge. But what about the contestants that may not do well in this challenge? Well, I feel like Carol is the first one to go in this challenge because I feel like we don't know a lot about who Carol actually is, but it's definitely true that she has some problems with her self-controlling, and she can lose her mind because of the smallest setbacks, which can definitely be her biggest curse here. Another contestant to die because of a similar reason is Rhea. Rhea is too much of a perfectionist and her greed can totally backfire on her. And finally, the last one to die in this game is Maggie. Maggie is really anxious as a character and her big hands can also backfire on her, and because of that she will end up dying ultimately anyways. Now it's time to talk about our next game, the Midnight Brawl. To survive in this game, you need to either be strong enough to fight others, or sneaky enough to have a hiding spot. Now, Tom and Gabby will absolutely nail this challenge because both of them proved to be absolutely great fighters. And Fiore will also manage to win this challenge because she is one of the smartest contestants Disventure Camp ever had. And she is also very small, so she will manage to find a hiding spot. I feel like in a way similar to Tom, Hunter will also do really well in this challenge. He may even be able to knock out several opponents. However, I feel like the first contestant to die in this challenge is Drew. Now, we don't know a lot about Drew, but it seems like he is not great when it comes to fighting because he seems to be pretty weak. In a way similar to Drew, Dan also dies in this game. Now, this guy seems to be pretty smart and everything, however, I don't think he will be able to keep up too long in there. Characters like Tess and Rosa Maria will also end up dying in this game. Now, they both are really kind towards the others, and they both can become pretty much of a pacifist when it comes to fighting. Although yes, Rosa may be a little stronger than Tess, but I feel like it will not allow her to keep up too long in that game. Another camper that I feel like will die in this game is Ellie. Now, yes, Ellie is pretty smart, she's really persevere, and she can find out a solution of every situation. However, she is not a fighter, she's really bad at fighting, and you can tell by her body that when it comes to fighting, she may be really weak. The last contestant to die in this game is Yule. Now yes, at first glance, it may seem like Yule has enough strength and spicy apps to fight other people. However, considering the fact that he's hated by the entire cast of Disventure Camp All-Stars, at least contestants like Lake and Gret are going to go for him. And now it's time for our next game, Tug of War. In this game, it's all about trust, physical strength, and teamwork. Now, once again, I don't see Tom having a lot of problems with this game because first of all, as a team player, Tom is pretty decent, and second, he's physically by far the strongest contestant left. And this shall not surprise anyone, but I feel like characters like Lil, Ashley, and Will are also going to do incredibly well in this challenge. All three of them are pretty physically gifted, and all three of them proved to be decent team players, so I feel like they got this. But I feel like the contestant who is going to die in this game right off the bat is Fiore. I mean, do I have to say a lot here because in Disventure Camp Season 1, there was literally a tug of war themed challenge in which Fiore lost immediately and fell into dirt, so that's all I'm going to say about her. The next contestant to die is Aiden. Aiden was never known for having a good physical conditions and a great body, so I feel like he will not hold for too long in this game. The next one to die in this game is Ali. Now, to say the least, Ali is pretty unlikable to work with. Especially in a game like this, it can definitely backfire on her. The underrated best friends Oliver and Connor are going to die in this game as well. If we compare them to other contestants like Gabby, James, and Hunter, and etc., they definitely stand no chance. Now it's time for the most dramatic games of them all, the marbles. This game is pretty interesting. It clearly depends on luck and skill, however, if you don't have the skill to win the marbles, there is always manipulation. I feel like the first ones to die in this game are Ashley and Jake. Now, with Ashley, it's pretty clear here because in both of her seasons, Ashley was eliminated because of manipulation and being blindsided. Pretty much the same can be said about Jake. While yes, Jake is still in the game, however, he was always pretty easy to manipulate for the villains. I feel like the next one to die in this game is going to be Will. Now, yes, Ashley helped him with pretty much all the fears. However, ever since then, we haven't seen a lot from Will, so I bet that he is still pretty emotional and pretty easy to manipulate. Also, this is the first challenge in which Tom doesn't win an immunity, and unfortunately, this is the game in which he has to die, because he was never known for a great social game, and in fact, he was always pretty easy to trick and confuse, so yeah. And the final one to die in this game is Lake. Now, this girl always seemed pretty average to me, so I don't see her having skills that could help her in this challenge. And that considering the fact that Lake always had problems with people that she could trust, so I don't think that she will survive in this challenge. And now, with only 7 contestants remaining, it's time for the trickiest game of the Squid Game, the glass stepping stones. Now, this game is really tricky because most of the time, it pretty much relies on luck. There is one strategy to it, however. Players shall use the advantage of going last, waiting till someone else goes first and dies. And with that out of the way, I feel like James and Miriam both share the highest ego in the room, which will make them go first, and in the end, they both will die. Both James and Miriam are pretty brave as characters, and they both are hard to make to quit something. However, in this particular game, this can come as a disadvantage. In a way similar to Miriam and James, Gred will die in this game as well. Now, yes, if we compare her to Miriam and James, she may not be as egoistic. However, she's not the type to hang in the back, like for example Alec would. While yes, Gred can definitely last in this game longer than James and Miriam, however, I feel like she will end up ultimately dying anyways. The next victim of this game has to be Hunter. To be honest, I don't feel like Hunter has any skills that could guarantee him a win in this game, and I feel like his reaction will have a pretty average time, which can come as a disadvantage. In a way similar to Hunter, about our next victim, now this was clearly a close call, but I feel like Lil will also end up dying in this game. Although yes, we have to admit that Lil had enough great survival skills that helped her to make it this far in this game. However, I don't see her using any of her attributes in this game. And considering the fact that she was not in the best relationship with Gabby, can end up her being pushed down from the glass by Gabby or Alec. Now let's have a look at the final 2 remaining contestants. We have Alec, pretty smart, decently strong, well-rounded, arguably the best manipulator that the Disventure camp ever had. And we also have Gabby, who is just, well, Gabby. She can also be really well-rounded if she wants to, because she's at least speedier than Alec. Anyway, now it's time for our final challenge, the Squid Game. To tell the long story short, let's just say that this challenge is more of a fight to the death situation. And although this battle is going to be really tricky, I feel like it's not even a question who is going to win here.
This is for killing the animals!
Now, yes, we have to hand it to Alec for showing his best qualities and showing a really great social game. We have to say that it's pretty likely that he will not be able to manipulate or somehow distract Gabby, because Ellie literally warned Gabby about the villains during her elimination. So now when Gabby will use her head more over her heart, I doubt that Alec will succeed in this challenge against Gabby. So here it goes, guys. Gabby is the winner of the Disventure Camp Squid game. If you want to see more cool videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the like button under this video, and yeah, this is it, guys. See you later.